Real estate investor, hey, let me ask you a quick question. How much money could you make if you had access to an unlimited amount of capital to acquire your real estate with no credit check, strictly asset-based financing, and quick closings? My name is Liddell Buggs, president of 316 Capital. We are a residential and commercial real estate finance company. Click on the link below or swipe up to have someone from our staff contact you to assist you in closing your next real estate transaction. What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
Cliff, what it do, baby? It's your partner, y'all. Y'all see us in this thing looking better than you. It's all good, baby. Man, y'all know today is Real Estate Friday. Every Friday at 5 p.m. Your partner and Cliff, we get it in. All things was the Cliff, man. How you doing, big time? What's going on with your brother?
Man, doing good. Good week.
Good week, man. Hey, man, show people how good the week been for Cliff, man. Go ahead, baby. Do your thing.
Yeah, I'll show y'all right quick.
Come on. So, hey, y'all.
I'll show you Dale, man. I'm just
that
gonna show y'all. These are some checks. These are all checks.
Yes, sir.
You see that? That's checks. You know, say 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 30. These are checks. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't little either. You know what I'm saying? They ain't little. They'll go $22,000 on that one. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm talking about, man? Cliff, how many checks is that, bro? Man, give me a number, baby. Give me a number, baby.
I don't even know, man. That's gotta be. I don't know. You caught me off with that one. It's gonna be. Ooh, it could be 80 checks.
80 checks, man. And let's say the average, Cliff. Let's say the average that y'all got the calculator out, y'all. Let's say the average, Cliff. Let's say the average, big dog.
Yeah, you throwing it all out there.
Let's say the average is about 500. All right. So how many checks did you say there was, big dog?
I may be low. It could be 100. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say 80.
100 checks. 80 checks. Okay. 80 checks.
It could be more. Yeah.
80 checks. 80. All right. Times 500. 500, y'all say ain't playing. Here we go, yo. How much is that? That's 40, right? Isn't that 40? 40,000, y'all. That's $40,000, y'all. What's the checks? We bought that action, boss. We bought that action, boss. You know what I'm talking about, that action, baby. Yo, man. Hey, and you know your partner. You know I got my bags. Yo, I got about what? I think 20 this week, I believe. I got another 110 coming next week. That's $110,000, not $110. 110 grand. And then I have another half meal coming at the end of August. And I have another 180. And this is all tax-free money. This is all tax-free, y'all. Uncle Sam get no part of this, y'all. You don't talk about. So probably in the month of August, we're looking at probably close to a meal ticket. Good meal ticket. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that man, we bought that action, boss. But yeah, man, thank y'all for joining us in, man. We got to let y'all know what time it is all the time. Now, Cliff, man, we're going to talk about a subject, guys, that is near and dear to our heart because me and Cliff, we love cash flow. Isn't that right, Cliff? We know we love cash flow. We know.
Yeah, cash flow is king.
Cash flow is king, y'all. I should have worn my hat. Cash flow is king. It's all good. But the exact same time, and so here's what I say is this here, guys. There's two ways you can generate cash flow. Of course, from a debt standpoint, when you're the lender, and a rental scenario. Okay. Today we're going to really tackle the rental scenario, and what we're going to do is we're going to know how to know if you should rent/lease your investment property. Something called a rental analysis. So Cliff, man, and the good thing about it is you guys actually have a licensed appraiser who actually does this as one of this is one of his profit centers, is on from a rental standpoint. He's going to begin to unpack for you guys what it looks like. All right, guys. So Cliff, man, if you could, brother, what is a rental analysis? What is that, brother?
Man, my bad. I happen to get them coming right at the wrong time. So, all right. So, rental analysis is we're going to take a look at all the properties that are currently rented out within the past 12 months, the features of your property, and determine what your property could rent for if it were to be put on the market, right? So, just like we do with a regular appraisal, we're going to look at all the different features: bedrooms, baths, square footage, what's the quality, and we use what's called quality and condition, right? And those are different because you can have a property that is the quality is subpar, but the condition is good. Yeah. That'd be like an older home that's in good condition, but the quality isn't high, right? Because it's not all fixed up. So we're looking at those different features, and that's going to be how we're going to determine that. And we're going to come up with our analysis. Now I'm going to give you all behind the sneak peek right quick. There's two ways to determine that. There's one that you actually view with your eyes and you do a construction analysis.
That's right.
The second is what's called a paired sales analysis. So what we're doing is we're going to try to find another property that's exactly like that. And any differences you can attribute to that feature.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct, guys. That's very simple. So now, Cliff, before we go to the next question, how important is it for a investor to understand the rental comparables in their subdivision, so to speak?
Oh man, if you rent your property out, you better know your rental comparables. You better know what it's renting for. Most time, rents are going to be pretty. They're easier to find out what the value is, right? Yeah. Because most people who are renting, they're looking for just a home. Even I've seen it to where even fixed up, really nice homes rent for just a little bit more than homes that aren't fixed up. So it's not a big difference there, right? Maybe an extra $75 a month if you're on the lower end type property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you just kind of have to look and determine what, Zillow is actually what I found in doing mine. Zillow is 80% accurate with rentals. The reason why is because all the rental, if you're renting a house out, just say you're doing it yourself. Let's say Dale's doing it, I'm doing it, right? You're going to throw it up on Zillow.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to look on Zillow. That's going to be the first site that pops up.
Yeah.
So every property that gets rented gets put on Zillow. So Zillow has all that info. But when you sell a house, that is not always on Zillow because, for example, in Texas, they do not have to disclose. This is a non-disclosure state.
Yes, sir.
So they may not have all the info to do an analysis. That's why Z estimate can be off. But for rental, it's I'd say 85% accurate.
Gotcha. Now, guys, when we say rental income, the rental income needs to cover your principal and interest payment, which is your debt service, your taxes, and insurance. Okay, otherwise known as principal, interest, tax, and insurance, or PITI. Make sure you really incorporate your taxes and insurance in the debt portion of your payment, so that you know what your true net take home is. Would that be correct, Cliff?
Exactly. Yeah. So find your what you call your gross income.
Yes.
Right. That is your total amount earned. Then you want to subtract all your expenses, principal, interest, taxes, all of that, plus property management.
Yes.
Right. You want to use property management. I know some of y'all want to do it yourself. Don't do it. I would suggest never to hire property man or never to do it yourself.
Yes.
Contact me. And I'll even show you a way how you can still kind of do it yourself, but use a property manager to do a lot of the work for you so that you have separation between you and the tenant.
There you go.
As an example, my rentals, I've never met the tenant. I've never met them. I've never met my tenant.
Me neither.
I let my property management company do it. And here's a big reason why you want to do it. This is huge right here because y'all can make some mistakes. There are state laws that you must adhere to. If you don't, lawsuit. And there's people out there looking. They are looking for a discrimination lawsuit. They are looking for some kind of you did not deny me lawsuit. They're looking for that type of lawsuit.
Yes, they
But a
are.
property management company, they got the lawyers on deck. They do this day
Yep.
in and day out. They know how
Yep.
to adhere to those guidelines and not get you in trouble, right?
That is correct. Guys, remember, develop a system that works for you so that the system works hard, not you. Okay. Begin to leverage yourself, build systems. Okay. Now, Cliff, let's go to the next question real fast, man. What variables are involved in the rental analysis process?
So really, which okay, so the variables are where's the property located, right? That's a big one. Locations, everything, right? So that's a
Mhm.
big one. So if you in the hood, recognize that you in the hood. Hey, I had houses in the hood. You gonna get robbed. That's
Mm,
that's that's something you're gonna have. I'm saying that because you gotta be prepared because it's going to happen. If you go into the neighborhoods, if you go to a higher end neighborhood where you in A
that's right.
class, they going to complain.
Yes.
That's just how it goes. They're going to call out people for everything. A door handle is kind of squeaky. At a
Yeah.
Class A property, they going to call for that.
All the time. All
Right.
the time.
And so those are just different things you have to understand. And trust me, to get to someone to call someone out to fix that door handle, that's $125, $150
All day.
for
All
something
day.
small like that. Your lower class, your hood property, that's class D, class C. They're not going to really call for that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you have a higher likelihood that they will mess up your house.
Yeah.
Holes in the wall. I've been there. Holes in the wall,
Yes.
holes in the ceiling, stuff that don't
Yes.
even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yep.
had just in my shower, they had a tile, one tile gone. Somehow they
Oh
just
yeah.
removed the tile. Didn't do nothing. Still took showers. You know what I'm saying? Water going behind the.
He's
So
right. And what's behind those tiles? That's sheetrock.
right.
That's sheetrock, guys. And so when there's sheetrock there, and if it's moisture in that, don't be surprised if mold shows up. Do not be surprised. And if mold shows up, now you have another potential legal problem. Okay.
They, exactly. And
Mhm.
and then you have them not paying rent. You have that
Yeah.
possibility. Now I found solutions for that kind of stuff to be able to
Hmm.
deal with some of it. But what you also have to realize is if they don't pay rent, you're going to have to go to court to try to recoup those payments.
You
You're
are.
not going to recoup them payments. I
Exactly.
know you think you're, well, I'm going to go to court. I'm going to get my money. No, no.
Mhm.
Because what happens when you go to court is the court will give you a document that says, yeah, you have the legal right to try to recoup your rent, but
Hmm.
it's up to you to recoup it.
That's
You
right.
have to contact that person. You have
Hmm.
to try to get that check. And they ain't never gonna write you that check.
Never going to do it at all, guys. And if you're in a city to where, I'm sorry, a city or a state or a county that leans more toward the tenant,
Oh
you in
yeah.
some real trouble now. Because for I'll give you an example, in the state of New York, it takes a minimum of 36 months to kick a tenant out. 36 months. That's minimum.
Hey,
That's crazy. That's crazy. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was gonna just piggyback on what you said. I heard so during the pandemic, this is a crazy story, but this is what can happen to you. We just give I'm not trying to scare you away. Got rental
Yeah.
properties all day. You just have to do it
Oh yeah.
correctly. This
That's
is
right.
the reasons why we're saying use property management. But I'll
Hmm.
give y'all a quick story that's crazy. At the beginning of the pandemic, when they implemented those laws that didn't allow you to evict a tenant, there was
Hmm.
a guy, right? He called himself the rental wolf of what was he called? Wolf of rentals,
Hmm.
right? He was
Hmm.
going to high-end rental properties, getting a lease, and he would do it for multiple properties, two, three. I
Yes.
think he had 7 at one point. He rented
Hmm.
them. Then he would
Hmm.
send them a letter saying, "You can't evict me due to the laws for years." And I'm talking about 5, 10, $15,000 a month properties.
That's correct.
And he would say, "Pay me $50,000 and I'll leave."
Yes,
Or
sir.
I cannot pay you until this thing is up. Like Dale said, 3 years. And it worked. He did that. He was getting 50. I think only 2 of them didn't pay, but out of 7, 5 paid him $50,000 to just leave.
Yeah. And the
Cash
thing
for
about
keys.
it, guy, and the thing about it, guys, is you'll be very alarmed at how much the tenant knows about the leasing laws
Oh yeah.
in their state. They know. Assume the worst. They know. Now, we have a couple questions, Cliff, on IG. It's a D Love says, what about HOE? D Love, what do you mean by HOE? If you could explain it to me, if you don't mind. Another one is so what was the solution for tenants that don't pay? Well, number one, you got taken to eviction court. Number one, typically in Texas, you have to file for eviction. First, you send them a late notice. Then there's a time frame for that. Then you send a eviction notice. Time frame that an eviction notice gives them a time frame or a court date when they're going to be in court. Now, here's the problem with that. Post COVID, you have a lot of courts that are behind.
Right. Yep.
They are behind now. So it may be wise for you to. That's why we were saying that a property manager is better, because typically, if you have a good, well-established property management company, they have a relationship with the court, so they can probably get the court date moved up a lot faster, if that makes some sense. But it also depends on what judge you're going in front of as well. And those property management companies know which judges to go in front of to get the process expedited and also the ruling in their favor. It's not I would say it's not corrupt. It's more of knowing, okay, they have not paid. You're going by the letter of the law, and you have a property manager in place that knows how to abide by that letter of the law. That makes sense, so that you get them out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Just use a good property management company, and a quick way to find a good one, right, is you can just Google real estate investment club. Go to Google one or go to Facebook and join a group and just ask people who they use.
Gotcha.
There's plenty of them. I got a good one. I've been testing them out. And there's different ways to be able to deal with a lot of different scenarios. Just holler at me, y'all. If you want me to go into further detail, just holler at me. Hit me up on my Instagram, and I'll dive into it.
Yeah, and we'll probably end up adding a rental or leasing portion to the course as well. We're about done with the first two sides as well. We're now making a transition to where it's uploaded into our video platform, to where it can then be transferred over to an app. So that's been a little bit of a bear. Now the question on IG was, he's saying, now what about HOA? Now I'm assuming, D Love, you're talking about HOA fees. Yeah, normally HOA fees it's an annual fee. What you can kind of do is to take the annual fee and divide it by 12, and you'll see your monthly fee there. And you would just incorporate that into your debt service payment, so that at the end of the year you have that. And typically, the property management company, they'll take care of that for you as well also.
That makes sense. So, right, and typically with the HOA, well, it depends. So if you're dealing with like a condo versus a residential home. Right? If you have a condo, then what they do a lot of times is they'll cover some of the main components. So hot water heater, AC, roof, foundation, they'll cover some of those things as part of the HOA. Now, the downside of that is they get control as well. They could say when you can rent, when you can't rent, and how much. I mean, everything. They can have control over that.
Yeah, HOAs have a lot of control, so that's why you need a good property manager that has those relationships, to where they can say, "Hey, my client this is his portfolio, this is what he does. He has a good proven track record. We want to do X, Y, Z to said property. Is this okay?" You're not talking to them. The property management company is talking to them, and they actually have a good relationship with the HOA. That's pivotal, because as you know, HOAs have a lot of authority. They really do. They really do. Now, Cliff, how do we run a rental analysis? Now, as an appraiser, how do you run a rental analysis?
So rental analysis, where you're really going to do probably you start with the per square foot, right? Okay. You just what we do is I'm going to bracket it. I'm going to find something better than my property. I'm going to find something worse than my property.
Yes.
Yours is probably going to be in the middle, right? So I want to find two of those in my same neighborhood. One that is smaller in square footage. One is higher in square footage. I'm going to meet in the middle, right? So I'm going to look at that, do a price per square foot. Then I'm going to take a look at bedrooms, bathrooms, quality, and condition.
Yeah.
So So the first thing that's kind of higher end. If I was you, what I would really focus on is just getting a baseline for the neighborhood. Draw
Yeah.
like and for a neighborhood, what do you consider a neighborhood? You hear me say that, right? What we as appraisers look for is we look for what you're gonna look in school, shopping, dining. That's your neighborhood. Where is a local dining? There's usually a district where they allow restaurants. Usually an area where they allow for like a Walmart, Tom Thumb, you know what I'm saying, Kroger, you know, in a school. That will be your late neighborhood. That's your in a large frame. Your
Yeah.
local neighborhood is going to be the streets around your house. So you have a
That's correct.
large neighborhood and then a local neighborhood. So
Hmm.
picking that area and then find your average price per square foot, you're probably within 10 to 15% of that price.
Sure. And that is correct. What I typically do is when I'm buying, because I do a lot of buying to lease. Depending on if I'm buying a whole portfolio, I'm looking at a leasing component. Typically, what I typically do is I'll have an appraiser say, "Hey, I want to know what the as is and after repair value or ARV value is, but I also want to know what the current market rents are." So then, what I can do is whether I'm buying an apartment complex or a portfolio or just a one home itself,
Mhm.
I know what I'm actually working with 1,000% of the time. That's what I'm kind of looking at. So I can let you, I can know. Like right now, we're looking at 2 or 3 apartment complexes that we have the financing in place, but we have the rent roll. But we looked at it and said, okay, the property is in pretty good. It's in a good condition. It can be increased easily. You know, it can make it be more modern. But compared to the comparables, what's happening is this the property is underperforming because the market rent is higher than what they're collecting now. And so
Right.
I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? And after kind of looking at some analysis, I can see what's actually going on. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And there's another way, not too many people use it, which is called a GRM, gross rent multiplier.
Yes.
Nobody really uses that. It's not as accurate, but it's just another way that you can take a look at it to determine that. Which is basically you can kind of you have to find out comparables, find out what they're renting for. You're going to divide that by 12. Then you're going to times your current rent by that, and that's going to give you your
Uh huh.
multiplier,
Uh huh.
right? So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of take that, and that'll give you your multiplier at a basic level.
Yep. That sounds good, man. But we didn't want to make it too complex for you
Right.
guys. We want to make it because it can get real complex, and we'll probably include that in our training as well. I know Cliff is going on. Cliff, tell people, man, real fast before we end. In your portion of the training, what are you teaching in that training?
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Hit me up on the training. Training. Um, it took me a little while, man. Just getting through it, but I'm letting all y'all know. Hit me up, and I'm giving the first 3 people uh, free. I was wanting feedback. That's all I'm looking for. Feedback and a testimonial. So hit me up. And so what I'm going through is I'm taking y'all the steps of how you locate discount property. I'm talking about 50 cents on the dollar. How you can get properties with no money down. But the key to it is finding a property. If you
Mm-hmm.
can't find properties, then the rest is difficult, right? The
Yeah.
key is finding the properties. I'm gonna walk you through the systems that you need to use, uh,
Yeah.
how you have the negotiations,
Yeah.
walk you through how you're gonna look on Zillow, multiple ways to find properties, and the
Yeah.
keys that you need to focus on that are gonna allow you to find them consistently.
That is correct. That is correct. And guys, I've got a sneak peek on what it looks like, man. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. And Cliff is fine tuning it a little bit as well to make sure
Mhm.
it's easy. Our whole thing is we have a beginner, an intermediate, and advanced. And I don't know about you, it's hard to take what you've learned over 30 plus years out of your brain and then put it on paper to where even the most novice investor can actually understand it and begin to eat it. And this will be a la carte if you want to, and we're looking at a monthly fee you can pay and that you get access to all of it. We have a community there. You can ask questions. We can divide it by state as well. We have an app to where you can be driving and listen to the training while you're driving as well. Because you could be out looking at a property and you forgot about, man, what did Cliff say about a rental analysis? What did they say about quality when it comes to building a home or constructing a home? Here it is. You can just put the app. There it is. Boom. Now, also for me, I am about things with the subject to investing side of it as well. Subject to investing to me is probably the most easy and most efficient way to get in real estate, and the cheapest way. Keyword is cheapest way. And we're calling this guys the cash flow club, y'all. I know I bought 8 to 10 homes with zero money out of my pocket, and all I did was just take over the payment. All I did was just take over the payments of that. That's all I did, and so that's called subject to investing, or otherwise known as sub to investing. And that thing there, guys, it can get so complex. I had to kind of break it down in like 3 sections because it can get
Right.
real. We talk about marketing, we talk about contracts, states, things of that nature. We're going deep.
Yeah. And I would say my investing videos go with what Dale is saying. So you could take some of my principles and then you take what Dale's telling you, you apply
Yeah,
those,
yeah,
is a beast. It's a beast.
it
And,
is.
and I would say find your style. Everybody's got their
Yeah.
own style, what they look for as an investor. Because I've worked with some big investors. I'm talking
Oh
about
yeah.
50 a
Oh
month.
yeah.
And they had a certain style that they work with. For me, it wasn't gonna work. It just with my time, what my goals are, you kind of want to find out what you're looking for. Some people only want multifamily. Some people only want single family. Some
That's
only
correct.
want condos.
That's
Find
correct.
out what your goal is so you can focus. And the focus is what's going to allow you to be successful and get you some more.
Yeah, yeah. I always tell everybody, master one thing. Master
Mm.
one thing. Once you've mastered one investment strategy, then begin to broaden that thing out. But once you master it, guys, I mastered subject to investing. I mastered it to the point to where people were actually using my contracts. They're using, I'm talking about nationwide, using my contracts, guys. Not to brag, but it was so easy. I had mastered it. I invested about a year in developing the contracts, the marketing strategies, things of that nature, and you're going to begin to see it by at the end of this year. Subject to investing, it has never left, but it's going to be more prevalent because as property values kind of get stagnant, begin to go down a little bit because people are going to
Mhm.
begin to owe more than what the balance is, and also the income begins to go down a little bit in those major metropolitan areas, and they can't liquidate it without taking a loss. What's the next best move? Which is what? It's simple. Sub to investing. It's simple, guys. It's simple. Cliff, man, you want to add anything, man, before we leave, brother?
No, but just keep looking to try to find deals.
Yeah,
Focus on what you do.
yeah.
You know, and I mean it only takes one deal. Like I'm telling you,
One.
the first time I got a deal, I picked one up and I tried to run it myself. I was new. And first day I had 5 people come visit the house and somebody put 2 grand in my hand. Day one. I'm talking about I had just finished the rehab.
Yes.
Put 2 grand in my hand. I said, what?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
day one? And then the
Yes.
next month,
Yes.
I think it was a little bit, not too much long after that. After my first tenant moved out, I sold it, 24 grand. I was like,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna do this again. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
just did
sir.
another one, and another one. It just kind of, kept it going. I slowed down a little bit
Yeah.
uh, a little while ago because I started transitioning into doing more
Hmm.
appraisals because that
Yeah.
business started blowing up. But
Yeah.
jumping back into it, going strong now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So it just, guys, just understanding what your niche is in your area, mashing that niche,
Mhm.
and beginning to real estate is all about solving problems. That's all business real estate is about. Someone has a problem, you solve it. Sometimes that means you have to get very creative to solve it because you have a complex problem. If that makes some sense, guys. And so that's it, guys. And lastly, I would say, Cliff, man, we should do something, man. That's what man on new construction. That'll be pretty tight. That'll be tight, man. New construction is a whole another beast, man. But it is probably the most cost-effective investing ever if you know how to manage property and debt. That's it, man. But God, that's all I have. Cliff, man, what you got, brother?
Man, he's absolutely right. The people I know who are the biggest, I'm talking about that top level, they're developers. Yes. They're all developers because you turn you turn nothing into something.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's the beast. But yeah, holla at us. Let hit Dale up, hit me up, and like I said, for me, first 3 people, I'll get to y'all free for a testimonial. So just holla at me. Keep it going. Been gone last couple of weeks. Had the kid. Had different stuff popping up, but I'm back now. We ready now.
He back in the saddle. Yeah, last week, my baby girl was like, no player. No, sir. I want my pop this week. But it's all good, baby. Man, God, thank y'all for your time and your trust. I know we've been kind of pushing back the course a little bit, guys. We just want to make sure that it's good and that it's substantial, that you guys can actually learn something. There's too many bad courses out there. We didn't want to fall in that same bucket of being a bad course. So again, thank you guys for your time. And also we got that fun coming out September the 1st too. And we'll probably do a live on that too as well, guys. But guys, thank you for your time. God bless you, man. And we'll see y'all next time. All right, y'all. Peace. It's your partner. We back in Florida, Hope Sound to be exact. It's my partner, Cliff.
What's going on?
He's the greatest contractor on the planet. Don't shout me down. I'm a little biased. It's all good. Cliff, man. Hey, man, how was this renovation experience remotely? How was it?
That was pretty good.
Pretty good. Was the crew good, man?
Crew was good. You know, you always want to keep up with your crew, keep up with your timelines, keep up with what's going on with the GC on the ground, boots on the ground, see how they're doing it, being able to determine the quality of it. There's a lot of stuff you have to be able to manage, man, but you got to do it one step at a time.
Step at a time, man. Now, was it hard doing a remote flip?
I mean, it's a lot more things you have to consider when you're going into it, right? Because you can't see all the little details to it. But as long as you're being precise and you have good communication, you can get it done.
Gotcha. And is it proper to stay out of the GC's way while they're doing their stuff?
Stay out of their way. They know what they're doing. They know the house. They know the construction. They know the crew. They know the environment. They know the city. Stay out their way.
Now, I'll send you guys the bill in the mail. This guy's products have been on HGTV. So expect a bill in the mail from your partner. Holla at us.